My district went for Trump both in 2016 and 2024, and a lot of my friends supported him. But lately they're saying I didn't vote for this. They didn't vote for the parks to close or to be short-staffed, health care costs to skyrocket, and veterans to lose care or have delayed care, and for tens of thousands of federal employees to be at risk of losing their jobs.
I'm sick and tired of hearing them say, I didn't vote for this. This isn't what I voted for. Well, please enlighten us and let us know, what did you vote for? Because right now, everything that is happening, it wasn't hidden. It was published, it was printed, it was broadcast and warned about. Project 2025 and Agenda 47 weren't secrets. They were blueprints. So tell me, what did you vote for? Yeah, Trump pretended not to know about Project 2025 or the people involved with it, but we saw videos, we saw pictures, and we saw him standing there alongside with people from the Heritage Foundation, Kevin Roberts, the very people who wrote these plans. The experts warned you. The media warned you. But you went into the voting booth and you voted for him anyway. He promised to drain the swamp and you cheered. And now you're learning that the swamp meant gutting the Department of Education, targeting trans Americans, firing career government workers, erasing DEI and wokeness, and concentrating power in his hands. And now that it's all affecting you, all you've got to say is, I didn't vote for this. Well, I call bullshit. I didn't vote for this. This isn't what I voted for. Trump told you that he'd bring peace to the Middle East. He held flashy campaign rallies. He made big speeches and gave you no details about how he would bring peace to the Middle East, just slogans. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, he's meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu and other foreign Israeli billionaires over at Mar-a-Lago, making plans, selling his soul, and selling the United States of America. You knew this. This wasn't a secret, but you chose to vote for him anyway. He said peace, but now it looks like a partnership of chaos. And now that it is a partnership of chaos, now that it's not going as you thought it would, now this isn't what I voted for. He did, however, tell you exactly what he was going to do with immigrants. Because he said how he felt about immigrants. Immigrants were poisoning the blood of this country. He said Mexicans were rapists and murderers. They're criminals. He promised you the largest mass deportations in history. Even in his first presidency, he denigrated immigrants, separated the children from the parents, and there were reports that he was forcing Latino women to have hysterectomies. And yet and still, with all of this, you all went into the voting booth to vote for Donald Trump anyway. And now, a lot of those same plans are reemerging, looking a little bit different with ICE. He's still separating the parents from the children. He's deporting parents and leaving behind children. He told you. Mass deportations, the largest in history. And to do that, he's had to put the National Guard on the streets here in the United States, right, to round up illegal immigrants, right? He's going to overturn birthright citizenship. your temporary protective status is on the chopping block. He told you all of this before you went into the voting booth, and you went into the voting booth to vote for him anyway. But now you're saying this isn't what I voted for.
Another thing I want to address is the unconstitutional executive overreach of this administration. I asked the Democratic Party to defend and support public services through adequate funding established by Congress and ensure those funds are spent efficiently and wisely and protect the power of the purse. As I said earlier, I'm an AFG member, Local 446. I would love this party to defend our unions and our collective bargaining agreements that this administration has sought to destroy and eliminate. In fact, it's even in the law. 5 U.S.C. 71, Congress found that collective bargaining safeguards the public interest, contributes to the effective conduct of public business, and facilitates and encourages the amicable settlement of disputes between employees and their employers concerning conditions of employment. Congress has determined that labor unions and collective bargaining in the federal service are in fact in the public interest. I ask that we could pass legislation that reverses Trump's executive order terminating collective bargaining agreements with agencies as the VA, such as the VA, the DOD, EPA, and so on. Protect official time and the use of agency facilities for union officials to represent employees as outlined in many collective bargaining agreements, and protect payroll dues deductions that this administration has eliminated.
He's talking about union workers. Remember when Donald Trump did an interview with Elon Musk and he was sounding like Daffy Duck? Everybody was saying he didn't have his teeth in his mouth, child, whatever. But Donald Trump did an interview with Elon Musk, and in that interview, they were laughing about firing workers who were striking, mocked those workers. Donald Trump has a history of stiffing contractors, refusing to pay overtime, bragged repeatedly about cheating his employees out of their pay. But y'all went into the voting booth and y'all voted for Donald Trump anyway. And now that you are seeing that he doesn't give a damn and is firing workers by the thousand, exploiting workers, now you're saying this isn't what I voted for. And look at the farmers. You got the farmers talking about this is not what I voted for. When we watch Donald Trump during his first presidency implement tariffs, there were farmers who lost everything, ended up bankrupt. But you farmers saw all of that and decided to go into the voting booth to vote for Donald Trump anyway. And here we are yet again. All throughout the campaign, Donald Trump told you he was going to be implementing tariffs on a much larger scale. And here we are. Farmers are going bankrupt. They're losing everything. The economy is collapsing. The export industry is collapsing. And here you are saying, this is not what I voted for. And of course, we got to talk about health care, Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP benefits, food stamps. For years, the Republicans have been calling these programs entitlement programs, and they have repeatedly over the years talked about how unsustainable these programs were. Donald Trump gave interviews before voting day in 2024 and talked about how they were going to have to cut back on entitlement programs. And during the debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, he was asked about health care. Donald Trump came back with, he had concepts of a plan, which told all of us that there was no plan. There was no plan. And y'all went into the voting booth to vote for Donald Trump anyway. And now that we are here and Republicans are doing what they said they wanted to do all of these years. Donald Trump is doing what he said needed to be done in all of those interviews. Cutting food assistance, health care, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. And now that these cuts are affecting you, you want to tell us that this is not what you voted for. I'm sick of hearing it. I'm sick of hearing this is not what you voted for. The truth is, everything that is happening right now, every rollback, every cut, every cruelty is because of your vote for Donald Trump. Rights are crumbling, protections are disappearing, the walls are closing in. And now you want to be repeatedly in our faces saying that you didn't vote for this. Yes, you did. Everything that is happening was printed in black and white in Project 2025, in Agenda 47. You were warned over and over and over again. Hillary Clinton warned you. Kamala Harris warned you. Michelle Obama begged you to pay attention. She warned you.
Forgive me if I am worried that we will blow this opportunity to finally turn the page on the ugliness once and for all. Because believe me, if Donald Trump is president again, at some point or another, that ugliness will touch all of our lives. And it will not matter what you look like, how you worship, who you love, or how you vote. If you don't make 6 or 8 or 12 figures, if you're not famous, if you criticize or disagree with him in any way, if he doesn't view you as his equal or relevant to his ambitions, I promise you, he will not think about you when he gets into the Oval Office. And that will have real consequences for all of us.
You heard them, just like the rest of us heard them. You saw all of the evidence, and yet and still, you went into the voting booth to vote for Donald Trump. And you did it to own the libs. So please stop trying to gaslight the rest of us as if you didn't know. Look around. This destruction didn't just happen. It was enabled by your vote. So be real with yourself. Own it. Hold yourself accountable. And instead of trying to gaslight us by saying, this isn't what I voted for, sit down, be real with yourself, and ask yourself the question, why did I vote for this?